Hey guys, my name's Alicia and today I have a really exciting video because I'm here with my friend Erica Zetterquist. So today we're basically going to be doing a video where we kind of like compare Depop from an American versus a Canadian seller and kind of like compare and see the differences. And we've picked out 5 different items that we're going to compare and basically compare like how much it cost, how much we sold it for, those kind of things. Erica, did you want to like introduce yourself and like kind of say what kind of stuff you do on your channel?
Hi guys, so I'm really excited to be doing this video, and a little bit about my channel is I have a lot of videos of thrifting, side hustles, San Francisco content, DIY stuff, apartment hunting. It's a big kind of mash of stuff that I'm interested in.
If you guys like my channel, I really think you guys would like Erica's channel too. You guys should definitely check out her channel as well. We're going to be doing the exact same video except a Poshmark version on her channel, so once you're done watching this one, definitely go and check her video out for sure. First, before we get into it, let's just talk about like our experiences with Depop. So do you like the platform? Like how long have you been selling on it?
Yeah, so I started Depop kind of I think early or late 2020, so I don't even think I've been selling on it for a year yet, and I thought that it would be good to cross list my stuff because I find that things that sell on Poshmark and do well there are very different than what sells on Depop. And so after selling on Poshmark for so long, there are certain clothes that I was like, okay, I see what other people sell on Depop and I have similar things that don't do well on Poshmark, so I might as well try to list them on Depop. I don't find it as user-friendly as Poshmark, but I do like that Depop, I think, gives you more of an opportunity to sell things that aren't just brand name.
Also, before we get into it, I did want to talk about the main differences, probably shipping. So here in Canada, for Depop, you have to do all the shipping yourself. There's no options to like create a label or anything like that. It's kind of just like, here's the money, like figure it out. So what is it shipping like on Depop in America?
Yeah, so I have 2 options when I'm listing an item, whether I want to pay for shipping and figure out shipping versus or getting like a prepaid label that either I pay for as a seller or the buyer pays for, which that's definitely my favorite. I forgot one time to press that, and I have a really hard time I feel like a lot of us in this day and age don't completely understand the whole mail system. So having something that's like generated for you is so much easier than going to the post office and figuring it out there.
That is really like cool that at least Depop like offers that option in the USA. I would love to have that option in Canada. So with all that being said, let's get into our first items that we're going to compare. Depop is definitely more style based, so we kind of focused on like similar styles that we've sold. So yeah, the first item we picked out is a slip dress. So we both sold a slip dress at some point, and we're going to go ahead and compare like all the details. So the slip dress that I ended up selling was this Licenza nightgown, and I ended up selling it for a total of $24, including shipping and everything. And then Erica, your dress that you sold is this one here, and that was Victoria's Secret, so a little bit more of like a higher brand, I think. And how much did you sell that one for in total with shipping and everything?
I sold it for $9 and the buyer paid $3.75 shipping.
Was this like your own item, or did you like pay for this? Like how much did this cost you?
Yeah, I had bought it at the Goodwill bins, but like 2 years ago, and it just sat in my closet and I never wore it. So I bought it for like 80 cents.
Yeah, for mine, someone just kind of like was getting rid of their clothes and gave it to me, so I didn't pay for this item. Shipping on this one only actually ended up costing me $2.35, which is actually really, really cheap in Canada, because we have this thing called letter mail where you're supposed to technically only be sending letters with it. So it only cost me $2.35. Now, I don't usually ship letter mail anymore because it doesn't come with tracking, and you're technically supposed to ship everything with tracking on Depop. But yeah, so generally this is actually really cheap for Canadian shipping prices. So how much did yours cost to ship?
So the buyer paid $3.75, so that covered the label and shipping it all.
Right, okay, so the buyer, so it's already like predetermined. That's awesome. Okay, we're gonna compare how many likes each item sold at. So mine sold at 12 likes, and then it looks like yours sold at 1 like, so
Yeah.
Do you find there's like a common amount of likes you get before an item sells?
Yeah, so with this one, it sold really quickly within like a day, and I listed it pretty low just to sell it. So I think maybe if I would have left it on there longer or like had it up at a higher price, then I noticed that my items will get like, honestly, I think Depop, I can get, you know, like 20 or 30 likes a lot easier versus in like Poshmark.
Interesting. Yeah, I think it depends on the item, and I think like, yeah, the fact that it only had one like is probably usually a sign that it sold pretty quickly because no one else got a chance to like look at it. For me, 12 on Depop I'd say is pretty good. Like, it means people are actually like interested in it. So I guess that brings us to maybe the next question we want to find out, which is how many days it took to sell. Mine ended up taking 196 days to sell, so that is honestly pretty typical, I'd say, for me.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, mine took a day, and I would say that in general, like a lot of my prices, if I look at comparisons, I try to go a little bit lower because I prefer just getting things out of my closet versus having them sit for longer and getting a few extra dollars, especially since like I always want to go thrifting and buy more stuff, so then it just ends up like more bags of thrifted clothes in my room. So that's kind of how I look at it.
So now the final thing we're going to compare for this item is our total profit that we made. So I ended up making $18.25 off of this dress.
I made $7.30.
Okay. Yeah, you definitely sold it for a lot cheaper than mine, so that like makes sense.
Yeah.
Because the shipping was so cheap for mine, I think that's why I made like such a good profit. Because yeah, I sold this dress a long time ago, but when I was like looking back on this information, I was like dang, that's actually a really a really good profit. So the next item we're going to compare is a Lululemon tank top. As we mentioned before, brands are not as important on Depop, but I feel like personally, like Lululemon is one of those brands that's kind of gonna do well like on any platform. So we both ended up selling this Lululemon workout tank. They're slightly different styles. Mine's this like kind of red, kind of colored one, and then yours is a black one. Kind of similar silhouettes actually. So I ended up selling mine for $15 total, including shipping and everything.
I sold mine for $12 and the buyer paid $3.75 shipping.
And then once again for me, this was just like an item that somebody had given to me, so it didn't cost me anything. Did you have to pay for yours? How much was yours cost?
I got it from the Goodwill bins for 75 cents.
And then you already talked about how much you paid for shipping. So for me, this one actually ended up costing $3.73. So once again, I ended up doing that letter mail shipping, which was super, super cheap.
The buyer paid $3.75 for this.
Okay, so pretty much like the same shipping price actually, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And yours comes with tracking then, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that's a really good deal. Like in Canada, tracked shipping starts at at least $9. So
wow,
there's the difference there. Yeah, mine ended up selling at 2 likes, and yours it looks like ended up selling at where's the likes?
0 likes.
Oh, 0 likes. Interesting.
Yeah.
How many days did that one take to sell for you?
This took 42 days.
That's really interesting because mine took 37 days. So very similar. Very similar times. Yeah, so actually pretty similar stats for both of us. Even like the price and everything. So at the end of the day, for me, I ended up making $9.03 off of that one. So how much did you end up making?
I made $10.05, which is really interesting since I sold mine for less. And I paid for mine.
Right. Yeah, so you definitely got the bigger profit margin there, which is interesting. But it is interesting that we did end up like selling it for the same price, very similar price, and ended up making a very similar profit.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see like the consistency there. Yeah, and I'd say 37 days is pretty quick for me to sell. Like if I can sell something in like just over a month, I'm like pretty happy about it.
Yeah, I would say I feel the same way.
Okay, so the next item that we're going to be comparing are some mom jeans, which are pretty classic seller on Depop, I feel like. especially vintage. I think these were both, yeah, we both sold a pair of vintage, like, mom style jeans. So for mine, they were by this brand called GWG. I actually sold these pretty recently too. And then you ended up selling these Calvin Klein mom jeans. I actually sold this one in a bundle, I should mention, because that always helps kind of lower all the fees and the shipping, because I just split it amongst like the 3 different items that this sold in the bundle for, so we'll just like keep that in mind. But basically I ended up selling this pair of jeans for $28.32, including shipping and everything. So how much did you sell yours for?
I sold mine for $20.
Including shipping as well?
Oh, sorry. $20, and then the buyer paid $6.75 shipping.
Okay, so about like 26. So
yeah.
Once again, like, we kind of sold it for a similar price, which is really interesting. For me, I actually picked this item up at the Goodwill bins, so that ended up costing me like $3 basically.
I also got mine from the bins, and I paid $1.75.
So that's kind of interesting too. Do you know what the rate is for your bins? Because I'm assuming these would have probably been a similar weight, or do you calculate it by splitting up everything you got?
Yeah, that's how I do it. I don't go home and like weigh, which I think I noticed in one of your videos. You talked about how you weigh each item so you can figure out exactly how much it costs.
I'm like very extra with that. I'm just like, I just want to know how much like each thing cost individually.
No, it's smart. Yeah, because truly, yeah, probably my jeans cost a little bit more, but.
So there you go. So for me, I did, if I did calculate it the same way as you, it would have been like $1.50.
Oh wow, okay, so really similar.
So. Yeah, exactly. So mine sold at 5 likes, and it looks like yours sold at 9 likes, so a few more. Mine ended up selling in 11 days, so that's actually really quick for me.
Yeah, that's quick. Mine sold in 13 days.
13, okay. Once again, I'm actually really surprised how like similar our numbers are for everything. And then again, for me, shipping did end up costing $6.72. Once it was like split amongst those 3 items in the bundle. So at the end of the day for these jeans, I basically made $16.59.
My total profit was $16.25, so.
Really? Wow, this is really interesting. Like,
I know.
I had no idea. Yeah, I thought it would like go differently, where like one of us would be like making more profit, but it's really interesting to see.
Yeah, so far it's been really similar.
Okay, so the next item we're going to compare is a Brandy Melville top. So I know for a while Brandy Melville was kind of like notorious on Depop for selling for like really expensive and like having all these like rare items and that kind of thing. But I feel like the hype was over-exaggerated. Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I definitely feel like, I mean, maybe it's also with time more people have canceled Brandy Melville. So that might also play a part in it, but also I always find Brandy at the thrift stores, so it's kind of crazy that people are willing to spend so much, but maybe where people are located they can't find Brandy Melville. But yeah, it was overhyped of how much it was selling for some items that I see on Depop, that people sold like a sweatshirt for $100 that never sold at Brandy Melville for $100.
Yeah, I feel like there's these like really specific items that are like the rare items that people really go after, but then I feel like pretty much everything else people are kind of interested in, but they're like obviously not willing to pay that much for. I feel like in my thrift stores there is quite a bit, but I've only been to the bins once, but I didn't like see any Brandy there, so it's kind of interesting to compare. Especially now, I think Brandy Melville might be closed in Canada.
Oh really?
But there's only like a few. There's only like a few locations left, so that might be why like I'm not seeing as much of it.
Yeah.
So I have this black Caroline top, and then you have this green like floral wrap top. I ended up selling mine for $33.99, so basically $34.
I sold mine for $22.
Okay, so a little bit cheaper. Also, I mean, these are different styles, so I'm not sure like how popular they are, to be honest. I feel like they both are like they both are pretty modern still, I could tell. Like, they're definitely not like super old Brandy.
I really like yours. I'm actually selling that exact item, but in gray right now on my Depop right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so this is
That's
interesting. Yeah, so I can know how much I should really be selling it, because I think I have mine listed for like $13 right now.
How much did yours cost you?
Wait, okay, sorry. I was reading from the number under it when I said how much I sold it for. So, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So sorry. Okay. I actually sold this only. So you were probably looking at it like, no, you didn't sell it for $22.
Honestly, I didn't even look at the price. I was just like, oh yeah, okay.
I sold mine for $12, so way less than what you sold yours for.
Wow. Okay. Okay. And that's including shipping?
The buyer paid $3.75 shipping.
Okay. So it sounds like that's pretty like a standard shipping price for a lot of your items.
Yeah.
So then again, back to it, how much did you end up paying for it?
I paid $1.40 at the bins for it.
So for mine, I ended up paying $11.81 at just like a regular like Value Village thrift store. So definitely a little bit pricey. I think I was kind of I was kind of mixed into the whole brandy hype, and I thought it would sell like really well. It was like getting very popular. It ended up having 50 likes. So for me, that's like a pretty significant amount of likes. That means like a lot of people
that's really
are like
good.
actually interested in it.
Yeah, mine only got 5 likes.
So that being said, how long did it take for yours to sell?
Mine only took 5 days.
So that is super quick. 5 likes in 5 days I think is actually pretty good.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because mine actually ended up taking 109 days to sell, so quite a few months. Shipping for me, I think I screwed up. I think I was looking at the wrong thing before.
That's okay.
Okay, I actually ended up paying $7.89 for this item. Okay, so that's definitely better than 11.
Yeah.
But what I got confused of was the shipping. It actually cost me $11.81 to ship this item.
Whoa.
Which is actually like cheap.
Really?
To be honest.
That like changes how Depop. I feel like the selling price in Canada needs to be so much more, because if you have to pay for shipping and it's always over like $10, that's crazy. You're not going to make a profit easily.
Exactly. That's the reason why I had to sell it for so much, is because I have to cover those shipping costs. So with all that being said, at the end of the day I ended up making $9.60. So
I made $9.40, so really similar profit.
Wow, okay, really interesting. So I had to sell mine for basically like over double the price, but then we still ended up making the same amount. So that's really interesting. Okay, so the last item we're gonna compare are these pleated mini skirts that we both sold. So mine is just this one here. It was basically, I think, just like a Walmart brand, but like an older style. And then the one you sold is this one, Lily Pulitzer, is that how you say it?
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like I see that brand on Depop a lot.
Yeah, I think recently it's really gotten popular. I feel like it was a 2000s kind of almost like mom on vacation kind of brand, and now everyone's like obsessed with it.
Y2K.
Yeah.
So I ended up selling mine for pretty cheap actually. This was a bundle as well, I'll mention. So everything was kind of like split into two. So I ended up selling that for $12.50, including shipping and everything.
I sold mine for $22, and the buyer paid $4.75 shipping.
Okay, so a little bit more than mine, basically almost double. How much did yours cost you to buy?
I bought it from the bins for $1.75.
For me, once again, this was just like one of my friends' like clothes. They just gave it to me, so it didn't cost me anything for this item. Mine ended up selling at 18 likes, and it looks like yours sold at 50 likes. So that's actually, in my opinion, like quite a bit of likes.
Yeah, totally. It really was popular for me.
Wow. So how many days did that take you to sell then?
It took 15 days, which is actually pretty quick for like how many views or how many likes it got. And that was kind of like a higher selling price point item for me. Yeah, no, that's like that's a lot of likes for that short amount of time. Yeah. Okay, this is a question too I meant to ask in the beginning, but like, have you ever been featured on the Explore page on Depop? How would I know if I had? Apparently you get like an email. Okay, then I've never gotten an email telling me that. Okay, because I was gonna say, this kind of sounds like it could have been like on the Explore page or something for it to get that many likes in like such a little bit of time. For me, with the 18 likes,
It did take me quite a bit, a long time to sell, so it took me 220 days to sell. So yeah, that was a long time.
I feel like maybe brand like played a part in this one.
For me, this one ended up costing, so this one was a little bit pricey. It ended up costing me $7.58 to ship, even though it was in a bundle, and that was just the shipping cost for one of them. At the end of the day, I only ended up making $3.15 off of this one, so not a great profit.
Yeah, so I made $18.05 off of this one. So this is by far our most different item.
I think so, yeah. But then again, you did sell it for a lot more, so it kind of makes sense. So that was all the items that we are comparing today for Depop. Like I said before, like I thought it was going to go like a completely different way. Like I thought, I don't know, I just thought maybe like in the US, the profit margins were like a lot bigger than I thought, but I feel like it was pretty even for both of us.
Yeah, and I think also even just like looking at somebody's Depop, you can kind of be like, oh, that person sold it for so much more, but when you really even out the shipping costs, it really turned out to be about even.
So yeah, I think that's everything we have to talk about. So thank you so much, Erica, for coming on here and helping me do this like comparison with Depop and Poshmark.
Yeah.
American versus Canadian. Like I said before, we did the exact same video, just a Poshmark version on Erica's channel. So if you guys want to check that out, definitely go head to her channel right now and watch that, because I'm wondering how Poshmark's gonna compare. I think it's gonna be really interesting too. Yeah, so with that all being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon.